God
It's
damn
that
it.
time of night. Some people got to eat.
Oh, and this there's PSR on Wednesday, so Brandy gets back about now, so it just works out.
What are you eating tonight?
Jack in the Box.
Hell yeah! What are you eating tonight, Bobby?
Hey, yeah, it's blurry.
Chicken.
They can kind of
Chicken?
see.
Chicken.
Just some straight chicken. Hell yeah!
Thank you.
Some kind of baked chicken with stuff
eat
on
this
it,
real
I
quick.
guess. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
I'll be right back. Sorry. I'll be right back.
Now he's
Two seconds.
all of a sudden he's got to poop.
I don't have to poop. I don't got to poop.
What's up, Max? Ain't nothing in there for you, bud. Yeah, I fed him. Good Lord.
How's look like you're sidetracked from working on JP's truck and working on your own, huh? Is that what's going on?
I just I messed up mine late at night. Like I did those LEDs inside the cabin at like 11:30 last night.
That's not JP time.
I told Price because I sent it to a little group chat we're in, and he replied back. He's like, "That's the wrong Tahoe." I said, "Sorry." You didn't bring enough money for the platinum labor package
for the late night.
Yeah, after hours cost double, bro.
When you had the red lights turned on.
Dude, they're so bright.
Oh, you Roxanne. Wow, you didn't pay for the Roxanne mode.
That's right. But yeah, that's all just normal RGB. But I finally decided to pull the trigger and order some of those chasing fancy ones and a couple different types. I'm gonna see what I can do with them.
Some of the chasing stuff is pretty cool, but sometimes it's just like it looks like a.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I got a controller.
I've been really loving the cob lights.
I saw someone
there's like 1 per millimeter, and it's like, and we're able to just light. I mean, like those fucking suspension link overlays that I'm doing for John, and like I did for the Raiden truck and stuff, and those are.
So after seeing Price's LTO bars that I guess Jim made, and then Jim makes some more for a specific red vehicle, I was like, man, I bet Bobby could make some inlays for that. That would just
probably make the whole ass bars.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that'd be so
I've been
sick.
machining a bunch of aluminum on my fucking wood CNC, and it's like,
man, that'd be a great
way
to spend $10,000.
Yeah, bring that money, dude. We
We
have had that job on our CNC machine for a fucking week because I'm like, okay, we gotta wait for the resin to cure. I'm like,
yep.
And then like a couple days later, it's like, all right, I gotta put more resin. I gotta machine the resin, and then I gotta put more resin down to use to laminate the aluminum, and then we gotta wait for that to cure.
You just
that's what's involved in building a loud demo vehicle or a nice demo vehicle. Lots of money and time.
Well, as loud too, but it's also really, really beautiful and motherfucker, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep on and then it's like compounding. I'm like, ooh, I have this idea.
That's what keeps happening with
and then the customers are like, like Jim that owns the Raiden, he's like, I want an all acrylic grill with aluminum and resin and lights, and I'm like, I could do that shit. And he's
how's that coming along? Is it? Or
well, it's in here, kind of? and then it's so much that my friend Josh Thede, he's Harley Designs on Instagram and YouTube. And those of you that are into RC cars and crawlers probably watch his channel. And he is an absolute brilliant fucking engineer. And he's been helping me out with that project quite a bit because I'm overwhelmed. Like, and I'm like, I already worked 15 hours a day. When the fuck else am I going to figure out how to do 5 different things I've never done before? And nobody has. Like, there's no phone a friend except for him. I'm like, I'm doing this. And he's like, oh, fuck, good luck. I don't even know. And I'm all, yeah, you want to help me with like this the other part that's like not easy, but you're the only person I can think of that knows how to do that part. And he's like, yep. I'm like,
you're like, I need help.
Yeah.
Ideas is what keeps happening with my Tahoe. Like, I was just going to change out. I mean, it was all just starting. by changing out the DSP and fixing the sign that Barnaby made for me. And now look at it. So
it looks really good, man.
I lit up the inside of the cabin using rock lights, like the ones they mount under vehicles. I was like, they're tough and they're sealed. I mean,
yeah,
probably won't break. And I have wood. I have like a piece of wood in front of the wall, just to like attach the wall to the headliner. I was like, that'll work perfect. I'll screw them right to that. Because like I told my brother, this next rendition of the Tahoe, where like with your doors and like other stuff, I want to get you to do. Like this will be the last one. The truck will stay together until I am 100. Like I want to be able to pull it out of the barn in 40 years, and people go, ooh. So like I can never pronounce his last name, but it's Casey Kravic or Kravovic, don't know, from Atlanta. He works at Crush Customs. They did a headliner for him that was the sickest headliner I've ever seen, period, in a loud vehicle.
What is it? Do you have pictures? Let's see it.
Bobby, tilt your mic down just a tiny bit.
There we go. Give me a second. I can go find pictures.
Heavy nose breathing.
Fuck off! I'm old and fat, and I'm already kind of drunk. So
I say I can't. Kavaric. No, I can find photos. I know I can. Anyway, it's simple but gorgeous, and I was like, I want something just like that, or with a little bit of spice going on it.
Hey, who is Facebook user right here? Serviceability and its importance. Steve has the ability to do things now to future-proof. Raiden has been worked on the be serviceable. Yeah. Whoever Facebook user is, go to the Quietly Loud page and click the link there, and then it will show us who you are. Yes. Right? Did I say that correctly? I need an adult.
Yeah.
Help.
I think, we hope that that's the reason. I mean, try to watch it from our page, and supposedly we'll be able to see your name. We'll go watch it from
if you watch it from a group, sometimes it won't say who you are for some.
Yeah. So, with today's topic, guys, do you guys have like a list or like some key points that you go after for every big demo build? Like, do you have anything that that you do on every single one, or that you're you know what I'm saying?
I make them loud, bro.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, you're breathing in the bike.
Fuck. Whatever. Well, I mean, the first thing is it's always way more fucking work than you think. So you have to be absolutely relentless. You have to just there's going to be shit that you think, oh, this is going to be real straightforward. I'm just going to make this like this and that like that. And then I'm going to turn it on and it's going to be hella loud. And you're going to go, oh, that doesn't work that way at all. Or that doesn't fit there. And, you're like, oh, I thought I'd be able to get to those gains, but I can't even fucking see them. So you're like, you got a mirror. You know what I mean? Like all of that wild shit. Or you're like, I totally thought I'd be able to fit 12 amplifiers in here. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to fit them there. How am I going to do that?
I can tell you, right now,
you just have to keep working on it. It's
how many times that exact thing keeps happening. Like, spend an hour thinking about it, then you start to kind of put it together, and then you're seeing if it fits. So it doesn't fit, you got to scrap it, start it. Like, there's a lot of variables that you never even see until you're like, sometimes you're halfway done with what you think you're building, and then doesn't work. And it's crazy, man. The huge demo builds are a completely different monster than just a normal install. Obviously.
Yeah, and you, like I said, you can get hours into something and be like, oh, this isn't gonna work.
Let me throw that all away. All of it.
Yeah.
Or like I'll set it aside, and then you get this giant thing that's in your way of your shop, and you're all walking. People are like walking around it, and they're like, "What's that?" And you're like, it's part of a box, and I decided not to use it, but I might someday. And then after like a year, you cut it up with a sawzall in the parking lot and fill the whole dumpster, and then you have garbage bags piled up next to it, and it's super
you're
fun.
like, ended up not using that.
Yep. Just like the battery box I'm building, it seems simple. It's just a rectangle, but the space that it's going in is literally my back tailgate is on the battery box. So I've had to tweak it a few times, and I still have to do, I think, one more thing to get it to completely clear and not rest. I mean, right now it's like on the battery box and the seal. It probably only needs another 16th, I don't know, eighth of an inch, less than a quarter, but I've got to figure something out to gain that space.
Finally found it.
That's crazy. Non-stop headaches.
Oh, the it doesn't quite fit by a quarter of an inch fucking thing is like when we were on our way to surf, I knew that when I closed the tailgate of the Raiden, the last time I had closed it, I was like, and I was like, and I was like mad as fuck. Yeah, and my technician Tyson, I mean, he's a fucking beast, and he works his ass off. Okay, what do we got here, Drew?
That's Casey's. Well, he just told me he sold the truck. So that's Casey's headliner, not lit up, diffused, countersunk LEDs, and it was a brick, just completely solid. Had to be steel and wood combination.
That's pretty clean.
That's why I liked it. It was clean, simple, but it's
floated
useful.
in really.
So if I want to do something, I want to do something like that, but with like the cob.
Maybe something like that, but it has like a piece of acrylic and it has machined logos and shit in it, and it lights up
like Baseaholics and all that stuff.
But like still like just simple, no crazy colors.
Yeah, just try to make it look factory, like almost like a factory option.
Yep.
I like it.
That's
wow. Hey. Yeah.
But yeah, so
bring back twisted sounds.
No,
I don't know.
Why?
Bad.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Meth is bad, bro.
There's so many brands out there. There's no need to bring back twisted sounds.
Yeah.
I saw there's another new amp brand.
Might as well just make a whole new brand and be like Tweaker Sounds.
Yeah.
No.
Or sounding twisted. There's always new amp brands out there, but if you're talking about Ruthless, that's a good friend of ours, Ben, awesome dude. So
yeah, Ben's super cool. He's super knowledgeable.
Look at Hunter Martin, bruh.
Say what?
Hunter Martin commented.
Yeah, you get your A pillars, Hunter? Are they as fancy as you hoped they would be?
Did you build him some pillars and not me? What's up?
No, I reupholstered some pillars because somebody used like 3M Super 70 to wrap his pillars, and they were like, we spent more time stripping the sticky shit off of his pillars than we did rewrapping them.
I'm gonna tell you about some fucking sticky shit, dude.
Pretty sure I know who wrapped them.
Bruh.
The local guy, because I think it's got to be the pillars that he had done that he made, the sail pillars that are in his.
He sold his truck.
A pillars.
Is that
he sold the?
They were tan. They had little fancy shapes on them.
I didn't know that.
The dude with the money with all the.
Oh, that's right. We wrote all over the outside of the box. It was all sex toys, giant butt plug, and all kinds of stuff all over the box that we shipped to Hunter.
I had no idea that he.
Hunter bought a Trailblazer, I think.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think I know. I think he showed it to me while I was in California. Gotcha. But anyway, I'll tell you about some sticky shit. So the way the people, I'm not naming no names, who built Price's Tahoe this time, covered things up was with carpet and like contact adhesive that doesn't
adhesive
cure.
Works really good if you got
whatever.
He was like wrapping wires with it and shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
nice. Dude.
Fuck Tessa tape, bro. I cut fucking carpet strips 2 inches wide and spiral them down the wire.
That was James. There's so much Tessa tape in the front of this truck.
Dude, I'm like one of my technicians, Tyson, I was talking about, we were calling him Tessa tape for a while. I was like, you need to fucking stop. Like I'm like, use a little tiny, and then like 6 inches later, but maybe use a zip tie if that fits. But like the Tessa tape, you guys gotta calm the fuck down, dude. It's all sticky and slimy and shit.
Just do Tech Flex. If you want to cover it, just do Tech Flex.
Yeah, it's so much more expensive.
If you really want to cover it, Tech Flex that shit. When we worked on Byron's Tundra, and it was a beautiful install. The guys did do really good work, but they were one of those shops that just every inch of the wire was covered in Tessa tape, and it was
at least it was every inch, and not just the front.
I mean, okay. I'm gonna do this shit up here like hella, and then the rest of the build, fuck that shit. I'm just gonna
you watch. I know you don't have a lot of free time, but you watch Dean and Fernando at 5 Star.
I don't watch anything.
I
watch my CNC machine run. That's what I fucking do.
I know.
I watch a computer screen and I watch the fucking robot. I'm like, robot.
If you get them in, actually, I'll just send the link to the chat later. But they take apart a truck. It's a 2020 Ram or something, and they take apart a truck, and just the last like 8 inches of wire is Tessa taped on every run. And the install, I'm not kidding, looks like exactly like a shop in Baton Rouge did it. Like, there's no way anyone else did this because it is identical. I bet
there's a shop right near mine that looks just like that too.
Well, I say that.
Actually,
I always say
there's like fucking 4 of them, dude. I can fucking hit them with a rock. I get people that are like, "Oh, hey, these guys were." I was like, I don't even think I'll work on your car if they worked on it. I'm like, I don't even fucking touch it. I don't even want anything to do. Go buy a new car. Like, fuck you.
I've already had me asking me to look at their builds. Like after I get done prices, I'm like, we're not open to the public. No, thank you.
Well, what all for the viewers out there? What all are you doing to price this Tahoe?
So I stripped out all the everything related to the signal is out. All the RCAs that were cut, which is all of them. All that's out. The DSP is out. I labeled all the doors, labeled all the amps. I'm gonna reset all the gains. New DSP going. 2 new DSPs going in.
What DSP was in there?
A Resolute 8-channel.
What the fuck is that?
Some Russian DSP.
Oh well, it could be kind of cool. It could be.
It's not.
Okay.
I checked.
Okay. Yeah.
Got to rewire the back doors.
You got some cool pictures to share with us. Didn't you were talking about the signal mass, right? The wire,
yes, the signal mass.
Yep. The signal mass.
Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second. I'll download the whole folder.
Yeah, I want to hear more about this. You were gonna
stop eating fucking garbage.
I have for the most part, but this.
Except for right now when you're on the show, you're drinking a
actually yes.
Like
today
Drew
and
is like 6'6" or 6'5", and he's like 300 pounds, whatever, dude.
I'm like
you're a foot taller than me. So that cup is bigger around than my whole body.
It's pretty big.
It's fucking. It's like a 50. That's a 55-gallon drum he's drinking right there.
Effectively,
it's a 5-gallon
boy drink.
No, I mean, for the most part, we have, we'd probably eat out once a month, maybe twice. It's just the last dealing with the Tahoe and then all the other stuff that we're doing. And then I know, like, I've been working super long hours. So I know in the next week, you can take this back to the kid. Thank you, though. In the next week, I'm going to have to go to Kicker.
Were those beers? I need one.
Yeah, they were Dos Equis. I'm not really a huge fan. And I'm saving them for a buddy of mine brought them over last weekend, and we ended up not drinking them. So he's coming back over this weekend. We're going to drink them.
Nice.
Oh, Giovanni. All right. I got some photos.
This has turned into what not to do a little bit.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, but what not to do is just as important as what to do.
Right. Yeah, like if you were thinking maybe this was a good idea, don't do that shit.
Present, screen share, window.
Like what I've seen done really poorly, that people are making the biggest mistake is steel cages with inappropriate and not enough material, and then they don't know how to weld.
The cage, at least,
proper welding equipment. This looks really good.
From what I can tell, looks fine.
No. From JP's structure looks really good on this thing. So I don't want anybody to think that I was going down that path. But probably, like, when we're talking about what not to do is when I see frequently this guy's pulling, they're like, I got a cage, and you're like, oh, you shouldn't have. Fuck. Like your wood structure's holding that together, and it's one layer MDF. So, but yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. I gotta.
Yeah, luckily
so
most of my
the
build
DSP was on top of the battery.
So
you couldn't even tell what
that was
going
me.
on there.
I moved it, but I will explain what is going on. Give me a second.
Okay.
I'm so confused.
Okay, so sits off to the right here. I just picked it up to move it to sit right here. But so that's 2 channels of input right here.
And that's all the input it gets.
Can you zoom in on that?
It's from the iPad, yeah.
Okay.
So it's full range 2-channel input. That's fine. That's how a lot of that's how my Duramax is. That's how my Tahoe is. Well, Tahoe has whatever. Anyway, that's fine.
I like the way the Testa tape is just kind of wadded up there.
Yep, that was like that. I did not do that.
Shit, isn't it? That's not Velcro.
No, that was Testa tape.
Jesus.
That was like that. I didn't do that.
Right.
That must have been fun to take off of there.
It was a hoot. There it is.
Byron loves taking Testa tape off of wires. If anybody was ever wondering,
I'm sure he knows.
Instead of using the cock box, they just did that.
Yep, exactly.
Signal mass. This is the signal mass technique. It's used by installers that don't want to take like a couple extra days and build.
This had to take longer than just to use
the cock box for sure.
I mean, I guess I would have to wait for the cock box, but anyway,
right? That's what I mean. Like you can order the shit like on Amazon, or
So they did this twice.
Building that for kind of has cock boxes in stock, I'd assume.
They did this twice. This once for bass amps and once for mids amps. So that tells you that all the bass amps were seeing the same signal,
that's how you eliminate engine noise.
But it's not okay. The mids, how are all
don't know.
It's going to play the same thing.
What?
So they did this twice.
What was
once
that?
for mids and once for the sub. So all the mids were ran off of a single RCA channel from the DSP. So all 6 doors played the same thing.
No right, no left.
Nope, no right, no left.
Mono, but not mono. Not mono at all. Like right or left channel.
So this was.
It was stereo because the subs were the right channel and the mids were the left channel.
That's what it was. Right?
And it's an 8-channel DSP. Like,
yes,
what a waste.
They were only using like 5 channels of it.
They had the time alignment set.
It was weird. What's
so this was just another RCA that was plugged into it. I think this might have been the bass knob that they cut, and I don't know why they cut everything. It just doesn't make sense. So that would have been going to the bass knob up front.
No, they extended that one.
Oh God, you're right.
That's an extension.
All right, so there's the other mass. As you can see, everything is very well organized and labeled, and it's great. It's awesome. Oh, look, actually, this one's labeled orange.
Hey, have you guys seen the fucking wiring work that Jeff at Sky High Builds does on the fucking trucks?
Yes, King. He is a king.
I've
and
never
should be praised.
seen anything that was so fucking outstanding. It is, and then he makes like a book that goes with the build that you like open it up and it's like an instruction manual on how to do.
I would love to be able to look at that.
Is he doing like harnesses and stuff? You mean, or which?
Dude, there's harnesses this fucking big around.
I'll go after I finish this. I'll go.
Like
I'll go pull pictures of it from John's post.
The any level lifts and stuff that Jeff puts together.
Okay.
So I was really super duper excited to have him working on my truck. They put an air system on my truck, and I should get that thing back in the next couple of weeks or so. But
it's going to be super clean.
So like they extended these speeder wires. Look, they soldered heat shrink. That's good, but no, nothing labeled, nothing really held in place. Controller. So the DSP had like a controller screen knob up front, and they cut and I guess extended it too.
Really?
Those are tough. That's
what there's this shit called Amazon, and it's like right here on your phone. And
so this
you could probably have some shit the next you're like, I need a fucking telephone
female
cord
to female
or a fucking Cat 5 or whatever the fuck it is cord tomorrow. That's 25 or
Anthony said
feet.
Let's be honest, you're going behind another shop to fix it, so just so JP can redo the whole build again in 4 months. The last build stayed together for 3 years, and then this one happened, and it just hasn't been right since he got it. So
the one that was together for 3 years was never quite right either.
No, so because it was overcomplicated.
If it was now, if what you do with all the wiring now makes this thing perform and stay performing and easy for him to operate, and he doesn't blow it up repeatedly, he won't change it. He won't bother to change it. He changed it because it needed to be changed.
Yeah,
he didn't have that thing rebuilt because it was awesome and he felt like fucking around. No, it was not amazing. And so he fixed it.
The bad part is the wall, the old wall, the 618s one that Mike Smiley built originally. I saw that truck do 67s, or when he first put it together. Whenever Mike had
the first version of I would be fucking intimidated coming behind and be like, I'm gonna tear out this fucking build that does a 67, and I'm gonna rebuild it.
After that, Price never really ripped on it like that for demos because that's not how you keep a truck together. And then once James does a great work. Amazing fabricator, does awesome work, but he overcomplicated it and it just became difficult to run. Is the best way to put it. But that's neither here nor there. We're simplifying
James is fucking awesome, and I watched a lot of his YouTube video when he was running that, and shit, I learned plenty of stuff from it. I think he did what a version of what I tend to do, and like. Like, I'm gonna do this and shit I've never done before, and what was missed is that it wasn't operational, and he wasn't able to test it and make sure that
there's just some
when he handed it off to JP, he's like, this is how you operate it. Here's your music list, and find shit that's similar to this, and this is the levels, and this is what you got to look for, and this is
which and you only get that from experience with big builds and then taking time with the build. That's just the only way to do it. But
by the time I handed Brian at Sinister Car Audio
the bloodbath,
it was like turn it to 30 and play anything in the volume.
That's how my Tahoe is. Turn to 30, play whatever you want.
Yeah, and he's like, and at the barbecue, he's like at like 27, 28, and I'm like, well, 2 more clicks, buddy. And he's like, oh, I didn't want to give it everything. I'm like, 35 is everything. He's like,
there's still more beyond that. It'll be okay.
No. Like, I didn't mean be afraid of it at 30. I mean, 30, you could walk away. Like, he's like,
exactly. So this is
you can like be standing there eating a burger, and like a 8-year-old can have the bass knob. You don't even have to worry about it,
So this is all the 4 channels in the back. Every amp is on a door for mids, but only mids, and they're only using 2. They were only using 2 channels of the 4 channel for mids.
Oh boy!
And you see, that's hot. That's fire. All the tweeters were on 1 amp. This one.
How many tweeters?
50.
50? Holy shit,
bro!
Wow, man.
So
there it is.
I'm
There's
gonna
some of the
leave.
carpet.
How many amps was that? Was that 6
7.
amplifiers?
7 4 channels.
7 4 channels using
2
half of them.
Yes.
Yeah, what does that even come out to?
Sadness.
So yeah, using 14 channels of the 28 available.
If
now,
that.
I gotta say, like, that part of that build that was done that way, that motherfucker should be called out.
This?
No, the amps.
This?
that.
Oh no, I'm not done. I have photos.
Right there.
We're gonna circle back.
Okay. It just comes down to either not knowing how to wire the stuff, or I guess just maybe being. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's being lazy because there's so much work there. Like what?
No,
I'm not going to even try to explain it.
That's lack of integrity.
I mean, just none of these. So anyway, I got ferrules coming, heat strange. We're gonna do all this right.
Damn! If he would have left that, the jacket of the wire shielding a little bit longer, it would have actually had the whole word "down for sound" down that shit. Instead, it was like,
here's your bundle of wire wrapped in carpet with glue.
Black carpet,
and not even the right color. Yeah, like why not just wrap in gray?
With Tessa tape
or tan.
Jeez.
Tessa tape for part of the wire. Like, what is that?
This right here, this is coming from the iPad. It's an iSimple piece that lightning to RCA with power into the iPad. I've seen it before. Whatever works. They cut the RCA ends off just to solder the RCA to it
to make another power pack or whatever. Signal bomb. What? I'm confused as hell right now.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah,
all this is James.
Air ride stuff or what is that?
Just relay stuff.
Oh God.
What the fuck? No. I'm sorry.
So you see that? Cut. There it is.
Oh.
Bro, signal mass.
Does that truck have air ride?
No.
Dude, what the
there you go. That's
that?
deadener, I think. Yeah, it's deadener. The RCA for the amp is literally like it was pushing into the deadener.
Yeah, it's part of having a huge demo build. You got to squeeze stuff sometimes.
What you looking at that gap, bro?
I guess they could have moved it forward a little bit. Oh, yeah, you don't like seeing the shielding cut like that.
Oh, there, tweeter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the
output mass.
All the amp settings were just kind of the same.
Just kind of
the same.
No, like somebody said, "Oh no, you don't have to do anything in the amp. It has a DSP."
Here's something. That's a big dent in that cell from that.
I feel like we're bashing a little right now, but I guess it is.
Well, I mean, he didn't say any names. I would have, though. I would have.
I mean, the builder called himself out on my post, so it's whatever. He posted a 3-minute video, like just. I didn't watch it, but he posted a 3-minute video, like justifying. I don't even know.
Justifying?
Were they rushed? I mean, even if they were rushed, there was a team of like 10 guys. How rushed can you be?
Look at this comment right here. I know some people like this that have demo vehicles that treat it like I can't break anything. I'm the complete opposite. I will
break your
I have
build
a
for
hard
you.
time.
I helped you put a fire out in your demo vehicle, Steve. I was there. I helped you. I was like in there with tools, and we're taking shit. And we pull the amp out, and we open it up, and it's like glowing and on fire. And I was like, that was fucking awesome. And then like I'm like the amp is smoldering, and he's like putting another one in, and like turns the truck back on, and I'm like I like that fucking guy. That guy's cool.
That's the point I had. Like, what did I build it for? I didn't build it to not see what it can do. I mean, I'd never turn that thing down, dude. It just was not a thing.
I will break your demo build for you because I know how to fix it.
That's true.
So it'll be okay.
I've seen it. I've experienced that.
Yeah, I mean, no, me and Nick will 100% break. If you say here, demo my truck, we're gonna find your weak point. I'm telling you, like if your system has a weak point, I mean, we're not gonna purposely break it.
Yeah.
But
I do know a few people that just won't. They won't turn it all the way up. They have like plenty of battery bank. Oh, I'm afraid I don't have like. Well, you got like 60,000 watts worth of bank. You got 25K. Like, you're good, dude. Turn it up.
You're not gonna voltage drop, and they're like, yeah, but if I give my subs all my amps will do, they'll turn into confetti. And
that's my thing. So I don't think I've ever like used all the power my amps have, just because I will just turn my coils into a liquid or a fireworks show. But I'll do that anyway. So
yeah. At Slam, you had sparks flying out of that sub, and I'm pretty sure you still have sparks flying out of that sub.
Our sub's still there.
I was like, oh, crank it up, beat on it. Like, I'll film it. You were like, it's been doing that for months. I was like, oh, okay. I just ended the video and walked away. I'm like, that was awesome later. So,
but those subs may be going away soon.
Yeah, are you going to do the 3.5-inch coil, the SDD?
The Stephen Duncan D's nuts?
Yes.
Yeah, that looks nasty.
Yep, because they're dual one, really which is perfect. That's what I have.
Yeah.
And Jacob said he'll build me some with black spiders. So
the Duncan, he built rings for his surrounds too, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think that was I've never seen anyone else have issues with that.
Well,
you think he was ripping surrounds apart?
No, he was like blowing the surrounds off the basket
landings.
Off the basket?
Then it was tearing, yeah.
I was having surrounds come off my cones because you can't stitch them on the carbon fiber.
You know what? I was talking to somebody on the phone 2 days ago, and they told me you would have that issue.
Well, I don't have it anymore.
He said it was specifically because of the carbon cones.
Well, here's my solution, and it's fucking awesome. And I'm going to stitch the surround itself before it gets glued, because it doesn't break the glue joint. It rips the surround itself apart. So if you stitch the surround first and then you do the adhesion, then the stitch does its job the way it normally would.
Of holding the foam together?
Holding the foam together, the outside and inside laminate, because the inside is like, closed cell foam.
Yeah.
And it'll delaminate. And when that rips apart, then I've never seen one come apart at the glue joint. It always rips the foam apart. It always rips the surround apart. So it doesn't the glue joint doesn't fail. But anyway,
I don't think that's necessarily what they usually are using the stitching for, but I guess
that's not. But it is. That's the important part of what it's used for, because
will they even do that?
Anytime you've ever seen a surround come off of a cone, paper, or anything else, you don't see the glue joint separate. You see the glue joint rip from the cone or the surround rip apart.
Yeah.
It leaves the glue joint intact on one or the other.
Right.
Always, every single time. Otherwise, whoever the fuck glued it was a loser, which I've been that loser. But so don't get me wrong. I'm not just talking shit on just anybody. I've been like, oh, I did a shitty job of that. What a goddamn loser I am. I should have done better. But the deal is, I'm like looking at that and I'm like, I know how to fix this. And people are going to think it's some aesthetic dumb shit that I did, but I'm not a fucking idiot. I understand how things glue together, and I can see when a glue joint is strong. The carbon fiber is not going to rip itself apart. My glue joint is going to rip itself apart. The surround is going to be the weakest link. If I can make it stronger by stitching the surround itself, this also will allow the adhesive, the E6000 or the two-part like panel bond like material that can be used, or even cyanoacrylate glue, will also wick through those threads of the stitching and bring itself towards the surface and into the foam. So the adhesion will be incredibly strong, far better than anything else available.
Michael said, bring up his random issue his friend had with the surround coming apart. Well, one of his buddies, like the surround itself, like exploded.
Yeah. That's what I've done to subs. That's what when we realized that the suspension on my Relentless Series subwoofers, when it was at its peak, the surround was acting as the primary suspension.
Yep.
So we had to put mega rolls, and I was going to use normal mega rolls, but I talked to the guys at Sundown, and they offered to allow me to use their patented super badass mega rolls, and that improved my product. So that's worked out well.
Praise be to Sundown.
Praise be to Fuller and
Jacob's one of those owners that's like an Elon Musk as far as like willing to allow his innovations to help.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I paid a pretty penny for fucking surround sound. They weren't cheap at all, but they were worth every penny. So.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is like he's not
holding the technology away from everybody.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Talk shit or do anything to other companies that he doesn't play the game that way. It's he just does really good stuff, and he's friends with everybody and not afraid to talk and explain shit to competitors of his, you know. And
I mean, prime example. Awesome. He was there in the private meetings for the kicker stuff.
Yep.
Teaching me a whole lot of shit about how subwoofers work and how little tiny subwoofers with tons of motor force don't give a fuck how small the box is, and they really only care about
because there's so much motor force, they just don't care.
They don't give a fuck. If you got appropriate port area, shit will get done, and it'll work, and it'll sound right. So,
oh, I can finally see Jose Ramos's comments. I've had him blocked for like 3 years, I think.
Well, both of you guys are growing up quite a bit, and I got love for both of you dudes. Jose's a smart kid, dude. He's fucking, and he works his ass off.
I don't remember why I blocked him, but 99%.
You guys were probably doing what both of you guys do, and you were mad at some old guy that said something that you didn't agree with. And you're like, rah, 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 rah.
No. Normally, if I block somebody, it's because they were directly talking shit to me, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm done.
Well, it's been like 4 years. I tell you guys both to be friendly and like each other, because I'm sure you guys will be fucking great. Jose's a smart dude. You're a smart dude. You guys would get along for sure.
He said I was on some dumb shit. Like I legitimately don't remember. And that's an issue I have. Is like I will block people, and within a year, I have zero idea why I blocked them. As I just push that negativity, and I push it out. I don't want to remember it. I don't care. Because that shit,
I got a few motherfuckers blocked. I'm sure I never even knew what their name was. I couldn't give a flying fuck. And I never will. They'd be like, "Oh, years ago, bro, we had beef," and I'd be like, "Oh, I don't even know who the fuck you are. I didn't have any beef. You had beef.
I have one person blocked. Yeah. Sean Bellinger. That's it.
Yo, fuck Sean Bellinger.
That's the only guy I've blocked on all my.
Fuck Sean Bellinger.
You fucking.
So speaking of what you just said, you had beef. I don't even know you. I don't even know who you are. What I was about to. Oh well, I don't remember now. He said 2018 Jose was a troll for no reason.
There's a lot of people trolling back then.
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm sure fucking Drew was on that shit back then too.
Dude, I hated Drew.
I was calming down
for a while.
I was calming down. I was on the way down. At that point, I was
2017, 2018, and I was like
married.
Looking at people's addresses. Who the fuck is this?
Either I was married,
motherfucker,
or I was engaged already, and I was calming down. I mean, I was mid-20s, so I was still wilding out. I mean, I still wild out a little bit, but
Facebook user names are popping up now. You still are Facebook user.
Names are not popping up, but I'm logged into the Quietly Loud thing still, so it doesn't have Jose blocked on this account.
I see. No, I still the only person. Well, I don't know who that is, but most people are showing up now. I think.
Yeah, most. It's
Skylar,
just you. Names are popping up now. Facebook user, which might be Colt because he said.
I think it's Skylar.
Dude, Colt's awesome, man. That's a good dude.
Colt's my fucking dude, man.
Dude, it was really nice hanging out with him while I was up there.
He works his fucking ass off. I fucking love that dude. It's Skylar. Skylar, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's Skylar.
Go and fucking log in. Click the video from the thing.
He's doing it on purpose. I guarantee it.
There you go. We are definitely not on subject. I mean, we can.
Yes, we are. Well, we did a lot about
really.
Don't make a signal mass.
Tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll give you a secret right now to building a loud demo vehicle. Build it strong. That's it. That's whatever. Anything else?
I was looking for my wallet. Where's my wallet?
You know what? Yeah, that's the fucking ticket. I left mine elsewhere and trying to fuck around. You know what? Start with keeping it simple. Like build like if you're starting, build the fucking structure strong as fuck. I don't care if you're like, well, I'm gonna wall it off, but I'm only gonna start off with a couple 15s.
Spend more money.
Still
on the structure,
build that motherfucker strong. Yeah, spend the money on that structure. Use the right plywood. Use Baltic birch plywood. Use some steel. Build the shit out of that. Save your money. Use the cheap ass subs. I don't give a fuck. Go buy them at Walmart. Put them on a fucking shitty credit card, and just you'll be way louder with shit. Fucking Boss Audio. We were joking around about building a SQ competition fucking build with all Boss Audio fucking product and being all.
You should do that, but take all the stickers off.
And be like, oh no, it's this is stuff. It was sent to me from Uzbekistan and through Italy, and it was handmade fibers from a Dutch guy's ass hair or something, and they'll be like, and they'll eat caviar in the car. You give them caviar while you give a demo, and they'll fucking be like, oh, you win, bro, you win, you're the best. And then I'll be like, yeah, I got this shit at the fucking flea market for fucking $94 for the whole build. And
speaking of winning, our boy, my buddy Jeffrey Hall did a little bit of winning last weekend at SQ World Finals.
Nice. World Finals. That's rad.
Another 2 more world championships and another triple crown.
Nice.
So he's double triple crown at the age of 30.
No, but what you were saying though, Bobby, like and Drew, for making it super strong. So like with the first Explorer wall build, I put a ton of effort just into that, making the shell super strong, tons of reinforcements where I needed, whatever, and then I used $200. I used the cheapest 5 subs you can buy.
Yep.
And did like a 63.8 sealed up, and this was in 2015, 16 ish. So it 100% comes down to making it super strong. It's got to be, I think, my number one, and then number 2 for me would be power. Like not how much power to give your subs, but your electrical system.
Your electrical, your batteries, your wiring.
Battery, wiring, alternators, super important.
How often do you see guys with massive badass battery banks and then just the messiest, shittiest wiring with garbage connections all over the fucking place, and you're like, you missed the point. They got all these weird connections, and I found these lugs on eBay, and they were half the price of
I made these lugs myself.
Yeah, I made these lugs out of copper tubing, and like, oh, dude.
Speaking of lugs, is solder or crimp or both? What do you guys do on the big stuff?
Crimp.
Solder can crack. Even the 1-aught stuff in 1-aught, 2-aught.
Crimp. Crimp. Solder can crack in a loud build, and then you're to buy.
Sweet. Yeah.
I guess it depends on where it is in the build.
Fucking right. Like that's the thing. Like, like the normal crimp tool, and we use it. We use the normal crimp tool, like the one you buy from Sky High. But my guys are smashing that shit 2-3 times. They're scooching it, and they're smashing and scooching. They smash it, and they smash the shit out of it. And I'm like, we can't our customers are gonna eventually run everything they can get through this, and I don't want the crimp connection to heat up if they're drawing too much current through it all. I want the whole fucking wire to be warm. So I want that shit to be all the crimp it can possibly be.
Yep. Yeah. Again,
check out Andy's comment here talking about imagine a manufacturer spending 6 figures plus 100 hours of research design, releasing a product only see a Home Depot cabinet plywood, baffle flex, loaded enclosure, And
Come
that
on,
is
bruh.
that
Come
is
on, bruh.
way more often than it is not.
Come on,
Far
bruh.
more often.
Yeah, I mean I understand the mentality because when I was young and just kind of getting in and stuff, like you don't realize the importance of all these things. You got badass sub, badass amp, and then like everything, and you're like, well, I have this stuff, it should just work, it should be loud. And then just I don't know, as you do it more and you talk to more people, you start to learn about the stuff that really matters.
What plays a bigger part in a loud build? Displacement, power, box design. Depends on what loud you're talking about. If you're talking about SPL loud, testing, enclosure.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Right.
If you're talking about like music loud, cone area. In the end.
Yeah, I mean, there's some unicorn builds out there too that just seem to do shit, and you're just like, what the? I don't even get it.
Now think about some of the most like impressive builds you've heard that made you smile ear to ear. Like this young man, I can't remember his name. He's my friend. He's a really cool kid. Shit, I'm a loser. I don't remember my friend's name. Anyway,
what's the build?
It was an expedition, and it had 2 DC XL, like older XL 18s in a 6th order on like a fucking piece of shit DS18, like fucking $140 amplifier, and a couple of like somebody gave him their old used AGMs. And this thing was murdering. It was just like all day long. It's like ripping metal, and it was loud as fuck. And people are, there's like a line of people to get a demo from this thing. The kid's in there having super good time. It's blowing massive hair tricks. The people aren't even in the fucking thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, and he put a 5K on it, and it gained like a little bit. He's like, I went
efficiency.
Yeah, it was incredible efficiency. And he's like, well, maybe if I put bigger, gnarlier subs and I have a 5K, but he's like, he didn't have money for that shit. He's like 22 and, works when he's, when there's work for him with his job. And eventually I'm pretty sure he just kind of abandoned the bill. It was like, it was too easy. It was at Sky High. It was it green? I thought it was black, Jose, but it could have been green. Like a dark green, maybe. I mean, it was kind of ugly, but he had built the whole thing in a week, just kind of on a whim, fucking around. But yeah, I can't remember what that young man's name was. It was at the barbecue like a year ago, and but it was fucking badass. And then at Slam, there was that young man that had 6 B2 Rage 12s in a 6th order on a Terra Amps 5K, and it was fucking awesome. And it was like he was like, hey man, like he came up, you're Bobby Gately, can I give you a demo? And me and Byron and my buddy Josh hiked over and hopped in that thing, and holy shit, it blew my mind. It was badass. And he's like, dude, I want to get it on a lot more power. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like this thing would be great on like 10, 12K, but you never know. But so often you find a build where somebody went, all right, I'm gonna take it easy on the financial output on the amp and the subs, but
I was just about to put
they really put forth the effort in assembling the enclosure and putting it all together and getting it tuned properly, and having the electrical to back whatever they have, So that's really what's Chris Snook had the 6 B2s on the 5K. It was fucking badass. I loved that thing. I was like, dude, it worked out so well. I mean, there's $50,000-$60,000 builds out there. This dude's got a couple grand into his build, and it was fucking awesome. So
hell yeah.
I think with this question, he's saying, I mean, cone area is king, pretty much. If you want to build
for wind, cone area is king.
And it depends. I mean, like, so you got six orders tend to. I mean, a lot of people say the 6th orders get windier, and there are a lot of windy 6th order builds. But I believe a 4th order can definitely get just as windy, and I've seen it in person, just like
Yeah,
Clippo.
they will, especially if you just cram
comes
cone
with
area
tuning.
in. Then the like Mike in Florida, I think his 2412s or 1612s in a fourth order, I think it is. It's just so much cone area moving through a single window. It's just gonna be windy. There's nothing special about like the builds are awesome, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but there's nothing special about these windy builds. They're just lots of cone area through a small opening. That's all it is.
Yeah, you're trying to displace. If you think about it,
Yeah, the volumetric displacement of the subs is so much greater than the cabin and then the window size.
Exactly. So you end up displacing the air inside the cabin, which is smaller than what you have for cone area.
And like you'll see six orders be windy and all this and all that because there's no real back pressure. There's nothing controlling the sub for the most part. So there's no like a sealed chamber. Well, it acts like an air spring to control the sub in a fourth order. In a sixth order, that's not there. So they'll play 10 hertz floppy, and it sounds like it's playing bass, but it's not. It's just moving air.
Yeah. I agree, and I feel like a build like Clippos or even my Explorer as a fourth order, the lows they're different. They're much more, like you said, like a sixth order. You get it moving air. It's not as much authority behind it. With a fourth order that can play the same frequency, say like a fourth order that's playing 20 hertz versus a sixth order that's playing 20 hertz. It's different. Like the fourth order with the correct.
I prefer a fourth order for 99% of applications.
Me too. I know about.
Well, I've found some really magical stuff with some sixth orders that really Ray Pimley is the catalyst to this. It was his sixth order that he was shrinking the fucking ports down so small that it was like a leaking fourth. And it was like, did you try sealing it up? He's like, I did. And I lost a little. But when I had the big ass ports, it was real peaky and it metered like overall like a little louder at first. But as I shrank the port down in the back and then added some length to it, everything gained. And it was
adding more and more back pressure.
Yeah, he's getting a lot more back pressure. So he's creating that air spring that you guys are, but he's also keeping some of the efficiency of having that sixth. Now, these sixth orders that like me and Ray really said it first. It's like a leaky fucking fourth. And I've described some of these enclosures before to a box builder guy, and he kind of gave me a snobby. And I was like, that's super duper funny. The proof is right fucking there, like blowing people's minds with a line fucking 30 people long, and you're gonna act like. And he's like, well, sometimes things work out really well. I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It keeps happening over and over again when we build them that way, but whatever, dude, So, but, and if you put this box information, if you reverse engineered, like the box in Ray Pimley's truck or the box that when I had the 618s in the Green Monster, and you put it in a box like something, because I fucking did it. It looked like shit. It looked like it was like way down. There's like no efficiency. It was like kind of flat, but it was like, but I don't know. It seemed to work really, really, really fucking well across a massive bandwidth and would dig super duper lows better than most anything would. So, but I get that like Drew doesn't want to hear ultra low frequencies, but I prefer listening to 17 hertz if I'm in the vehicle for 5 and 6 hours straight. It feels better on my body, but 25 and 30 hertz will start to give me a little achy headache, and I'll be a little bit all done with that shit.
In.
Yeah. But hey, a fun fact, we noticed when we were at the NorCal Truck Mania, which I gave out like well over 100 fucking demos, and I'm not exaggerating. In the Raiden truck, it was a fucking spectacle, and we had crowds around that thing all fucking day. It was awesome, and it sounds absolutely beautiful with the tune you did, and a couple of very small changes in gains and stuff that I did with some help from Colt. It sounds fucking beautiful.
Nice.
Jose, what were your results with Ray's enclosure? It worked
Yeah,
well.
I was gonna put that up next. I wanted to touch on what Steven said here. Definitely more throw will help on all situations.
Yes, the sundown subs are louder. That's your question. Yes,
throw is very good. More throw, the better.
More excursion, more better.
Yeah, tell us more, Jose. I'm kind of I wonder what is horn
rest. Enclosure is software that Jose is the foremost expert that I know of using that design software.
Okay.
So tell us more, Jose. Tell us more. But the Raiden I found because I was like, I had opened up the front doors and I was sitting in there and I was like, oh, let me try this song. And I wanted to hear like some regular music in it for a moment. And I cranked up the song. And when I cranked up the bass knob, I was like, damn, that's like super loud. I was like, man, that one kills it. And then I went back to some Rusticles music and I noticed that the fucking Raiden's quite a bit louder with both front doors wide open to the people in the front seats.
Okay.
I don't know why, but like I was showing people, I'm like, check it out, close the door. And I was like, now tell me if you think it's louder when I do this. And I was like, which way did you think is louder? And almost everybody said that it was louder with both doors front open, both front doors wide open, back windows up. That seemed to be.
It might be louder at the headrest that way for sure.
Yeah, louder at the headrest, and that's the only spot that I could give a flying fuck about ever.
Right.
Yeah. And especially in a vehicle like that, I mean, there's certain vehicles, obviously, that what's doing on the glass is really important, but yeah, I don't give a fuck about the glass.
So, what do you guys think about owning a demo vehicle, like a big
bro,
one?
fucking sucks. Fucking sucks.
It's not as thrilling as everybody thinks.
Not.
I mean, it's awesome to have at the shows and do your thing and give smiles and all that stuff, but like getting it to and from shows, all the crap that breaks, you got to fix, the money, time, all that stuff. Like, one reason why I rebuilt the Explorer and didn't buy something different, bigger, like a Suburban or Expedition or whatever, was for the cost of a trailer and a truck and getting it around. Like with my Explorer, it still fits on my 14-foot trailer, and I could still tow it with pretty much any truck. I mean, when it's fully loaded, it's going to weigh 7,000 pounds or so, which is
really.
Yeah,
I think you're underestimating there. To be honest,
I think so too.
It was 5,800 pounds fully loaded before, with heavier subs and like 15 sheets of birch in it. So
steel's heavy, bro.
1,500 more pounds. I know steel's heavy, but it's not triple layers everywhere. And I had a lot of steel in the build before as well.
Yes, so. A sub that's moving twice as far will have twice the volumetric displacement. It'll play lower. Well, it depends on the suspension, but just get a sundown sub. There's your answer. Just get a sundown sub.
No, there's a lot of subs that have a lot of excursion.
No, none have more than sundown. None.
But yeah, I'd say owning
the kicker gonna.
Nope.
The kicker's gonna have.
It's close. It's close.
You don't think it's gonna have as much? It's got over 4 inches of
throw. Peak to peak, I think I saw 3 3/4 for most of them.
Okay.
The sundown, the ZV, the Z
that isn't out yet.
The Z Series 18s have like 4 1/4 peak to peak.
I'm pretty sure there's one that's over 4 inches, but maybe we just won't see it for a while.
Who knows?
But yeah, back to what I mean. I don't know about what you guys think about the whole situation of owning the truck and trailer and all that extra shit that goes into owning a big.
I mean, I bought a gooseneck this year. I bought the dually a couple years ago. I mean, just I quit daily driving the Tahoe or like the Nitro or whatever because you're always fixing it. Like even with me not driving it all the time, it is constantly broken in some way. And it's a part-time job to maintain a vehicle like that if you want to drive it more than once a year. It's just how it is.
Yeah, mine's a trailer queen, so it pretty much never gets driven. But when it's fully done, I do definitely want to do some strip cruises and do some really random viral videos, hopefully, of just chicks on the Las Vegas Strip.
What's your deal with 6 to 10th order? I never seen a 10th order. 6 orders are cool though.
Who is Facebook user? God damn it!
It was
Skylar.
It was Skylar, but I don't know.
Skylar, your shit is not a 10th order.
What's your idea of my 6th/10th?
He has a 6th order.
He has
there needs to be a paid be getting paid by sundown.
Let me ask you something, Bobby, because you said last episode, I think, that you hate aeroports and aeroports fucking suck and all this shit. So what do you think about these 6th orders that have aeroports?
Well, if they're just fucking right, then the magic happens. But they're never just right. You're like, oh, look at that. You could, like you do the math and you're like, I need 27 inches of port area. You're like, oh, fuck, cool. Fucking 6-inch aeroport's going to work for that. As long as you brace the shit out of it and it doesn't sit there and flex. I watched a 10-inch diameter aeroport change its angle in the back of a fucking 6th order every time the note changed in the fucking thing, and I'm all, you see it doing that, right?
That's adjustable. That's an active tuning solution, sir. That is
changing things. It is wasting energy. When your box fucking flexes, or your port flexes, or your box moves around, like I have seen motherfuckers gain on a meter by bolting their box in place.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All they fucking did. And they were like, how could that possibly happen? And it's like, motherfucker, it's not wasting energy anymore, wiggling the
bouncing all over your car.
People ask me all the time, man, how do I get louder? Blah blah blah. Well, all right. Well, what's your current score and clamp power frequency? Oh, I haven't clamped it. Call me later, bro. Call me later. Because nothing I tell you matters.
With some effort, just figure out what might make it fucking louder. I don't know.
It's funny you say that. It's like,
put your foot to the gas and hold it on the rev limiter and see if it fucking meters louder when you do that. Start with that test.
One of the first builds I had when I was 17, maybe, 3 JL12 W3s in a sealed box in my Camaro. And it would do exactly that, Bobby. It would fucking bounce all over the place when I first put it in. And I was like, holy shit. It was
that's
like
so awesome
I ever had. So, but I bolted it down and it was way better. Obviously, I've never seen a box do that before.
You didn't bolt it down thinking it's going to make it louder. You bolted down because you're like, this is stupid. It's sliding all over the back,
bouncing all over the fucking place.
That's how I learned. I mean, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was some brilliant fucking person. I was like, we should really bolt this customer speaker box down before it leaves after we've done all this fucking testing and saw how loud it was and blah, blah, blah. And then we like bolt the motherfucker in place and it's awesome. We like get in and I'm showing the customer the car and I'm like, whoa, this is way fucking louder than it was. And I'm like, all we did was bolt the motherfucker in place and it made it louder. I'm like, oh, we must have been wasting a ton of energy. And we, with our truck boxes, the fucking padding on like the Chevy trucks is like an inch fucking thick, damn near. And my truck boxes are like on the floor. And I'm like, man, if we bolt that motherfucker in, it'd be so much better. So like, I really want to tell customers, hey, I can make this thing a whole lot louder if I pull your fucking carpet up and cut this foamy shit out of the floor. Fasten this box solid right on that fucking metal with, like 8 really solid, like little lag bolts, and everything will be better. And your box won't be sliding around the back of your truck and it'll be louder. And I keep forgetting to do that shit. They'd all be like, how much more is that going to cost me? I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like 3 hours of labor. And that's about it. And all of a sudden it's, fucking $600 more on their build, but they're like, I don't fucking care. I get $8,000 into this thing, and I want it to be as loud as it can be.
And that just kind of goes to prove where the strength thing comes into play with big demo builds or any build, and that literally by bolting it down, you just made that box much stronger by using the car and then using the energy that it was bouncing all over the place as output now instead of wasted energy, like you said. So.
You're turning that sound energy into kinetic energy. You're reducing the waves off of the cones.
Is the loudspeaker cookbook still a good reference? It is for loudspeakers. I mean, modern.
Isn't that the one, Bobby, that you said you have to skip like the first 3 fucking chapters or something
if you got a lot of time in your hands and you're real fucking smart, then those there's like 2 or 3 new chapters that are like incredible engineering details that, like, at first you're like, this is really interesting, and then pretty soon you're like, I'm not fucking smart enough for this. Fuck, I don't. I mean, like, there's gonna be plenty of guys that are like, oh, that guy's an idiot. I understood everything it said in there. I'm like, well, maybe
you're not
part of
loud
my
either,
mind
bud. Sorry for you. I'm gonna tell you.
pertain to anything I've ever done in my entire career. So
Nope.
my mind went, never mind. I'm not gonna read this shit.
Yes, so. You will learn stuff in it. Will it help you make your SPL louder? Probably not. No,
probably not. You'd probably better off taking the time to go out and work on your fucking build.
We're doing rebuilding my Scourge winter. We are putting in a steel cage. Is it a must to fill the open squares in the cage?
It's not a must.
If you're building a demo build, no, it's not going to matter. They say you gain tenths by filling the squares, but I've never seen proof.
Who the fuck are they?
I mean, I fill every square. I always plan on filling every square, even on the sealed cage that I'm building right now. But I look at it like I've got a 3/4 inch piece of wood now in that hole. I mean, an inch and a half piece of wood in that hole versus a 3/4 inch. And I mean, when you build it really tight and then you're putting PL in the gap and all that stuff, I mean, you're kind of laminating this whole piece as one.
I mean, you're making it stronger, but if your steel cage wasn't strong enough to begin with, the wood ain't gonna help.
Fill your squares.
That's what that touches back to what I was talking about earlier. That I've seen. I mean, I've seen more steel cages that I thought were weaker than they should have been by a long shot.
For sure.
Then I've seen ones where I was like, well, that's strong enough. Fuck.
Yeah, like the cage in Steven's white truck, the squares aren't filled, but I guarantee he's not gaining a thing filling those squares.
Well, the squares are this fucking big. They're like
the truck ones are pretty big. The truck ones are like a foot by a foot. But
that's another thing. Like how big is squares?
Metal, and then it's like 4 layers of wood on the inside of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, mine's all single layer as far as wood goes, but I guess it's only the baffle, and I did steel plate, so maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't foresee
a phone too, so
I don't foresee a piece of wood helping
the whole world's
at all on the backside of your steel plate.
I actually did. When I went and bought a stick of steel yesterday because I ran out, the dude, when I told him about the build, I was like, it's all steel, everything, front to back, top, bottom, everything, except for just the baffle's wood. He's like, why didn't you make this baffle out of steel? I'm like, well, I would have loved to, but when I called you guys a month ago, you told me a sheet was like $970. So that's
no.
Why? So one piece of wood will be all right.
No. Would you hate yourself?
6 inch squares. That's pretty small, dude. I mean, that's
for an excursion.
Honestly, if you have 6 inch squares, you don't need to fill them.
Well, what are you going to fill them with? Hopes? Dreams?
It's just so small that it's like,
bro, that's not 6 inches. Strong, bro, that's not 6 inches. Come on.
Easily 6 inches right there, bro. But yeah, I think we did like 8 inch off center on mine, maybe even 10 inch off center. No, 5. So 5 inch off center would be 10 inch square, right?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I think that's what we did.
Well, it depends on how big the metal is, right?
Well, I think you go from like the center of the square to the edge of the metals, but
I'm thinking like fill between them with like. I mean, if I was building a cage, right? I would build this really super strong cage, and then I would have a single layer of wood on the inside, and then in between the openings of the cage, I would fill between those spaces.
Yeah,
that'd be more efficient.
Yeah, right? I mean it's the same thing. You're just filling all the squares with little, squares, and then you could skin the back with a single piece if you want. But
let's just ask RP what's in his van. Do that.
Steel, I'm sure.
Well, I want to see what RP does at Mecca. Given now that I don't know if you guys saw how much interior work they've been doing.
Is there even going to be much of anything for Mecca? Like,
I mean, we could talk about that a little bit.
It came completely unglued from what I'm seeing.
So I don't know how many of you guys know.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No clue.
I've heard a little bit about it, but
Mecca was bought last year, and
like every single judge quit, right?
A lot of judges have been leaving, and Richard, which is like our SoCal,
EXO is just doing what he's told by 215.
He's a huge mecha judge, basically, and he was going to judge mecha at the showdown, which is usually like one of our biggest orgs. I mean, 100 runs plus. And now that Richard left like 2 days ago, most of the people that were going to run mecha aren't running it now. So I don't know what the heck's going on over there. It's too bad because mecha's got some really cool glasses.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on.
There was there's issues with mecha and SQ too. I know that. That much I do
SQ,
know.
So Drew, since you're more in SQ, what you know about EMA, right?
Mm-hmm.
The organization.
Yep.
So that's what it's called, right? It's called EMA.
Yeah, EMMA, European something.
Okay, so there's an EMA. There is an EMA USA, and I'm sure you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess Richard is possibly going to be judging EMA USA at the showdown now for SQ.
Oh, nice.
I don't really know anything about it, but I know EMA's big, like you said, in Europe, and I don't know if it's one of the, or if it is the biggest SQ organization.
I think it's the biggest in Europe for sure.
Okay, but even worldwide,
in the US is probably IASCA.
Okay,
or probably IASCA.
All right, so for you SQ guys, we're gonna have IASCA and I think EMA SQ, possibly USAC SQ. I don't know how much SQ we got SQ. So
SQ gang, bro.
Hooray for SQ. Bobby's excited.
No, I like SQ. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm not a fan of some of the vibe that I get from some of that, but I'm not a fan of some of the vibe I get from some of the base heads. So there's that.
I'm not a fan of a lot of the vibe I get from a lot of the base heads. So
right, I'm not.
Fuck yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna unblock Jose just so I can send him measurements on prices and closures so he can tell me what it is because I don't know what it is.
What do you mean?
I got no clue what it is.
It's kind of crazy because it super resembles an enclosure I built for 815s, except for it's turned on its side for a guy named Old Man Mike that passed away a few years ago. And I built the enclosure for him, like, I don't know, 15 years ago. And it's because the subs are in the port. And
it's 3 of them are in the port.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like one of those 6.5 kind of stupid things, but at the same time, it's horn loaded.
Somebody on the phone with called it a bad Series 6, and I'm like, maybe. And he told me some things I could do to basically make it gain DB just immediately. So if it doesn't perform how I want, and you see some big ass roundovers on the inside of JP's wall, just go with it.
Yeah, it is a little different than a lot of the builds you see because like the subs aren't as far back as they could get them, right? It's just kind of like all right there in the front, and then there's. Mine just not really.
I haven't been across the top. My brother's the only one who's been across like the top of the baffle to go look at stuff in the back.
It's like 3 in the front, 3 on that 45,
and then 3 like there. Vertical. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like it's a big ported box that the subs are.
That's how I see it
in the port.
That's how I see it. Just a big.
I built boxes like that, like smaller scale, and then there's that one, and it performed pretty well. I mean, it was pretty wild for everybody in the Sacramento area. He was one of the first guys that could, do a 150 base race like easy. You
got to convince him to get rid of that windshield.
I mean, it's in pieces. It's gone. So someone's got to have it. Okay. Oh no, yeah, it's like blown in half.
Have Hunter make him one of his fancy windshields. That would be ideal.
True, but yeah, the one he had in there before. I mean, God, how much it flopped. That had to obviously hurt output.
So I like when I first heard the truck at Made of Steel this year, I heard him rip on it like probably 2 or 3 times, like really give it some beans, and I was like, okay, that thing's gonna have some it's gonna be loud. Like it had some pressure to it, but then like I get in it and you can see phase issues start with volume. So that's one of the main things I'm going to be addressing is trying to get the rows in order. Yeah.
I'll tell you with that windshield being even if it's as intact as it gets, that thing flexes fucking 4 inches. It's
it is completely split in half. It is useless.
Right? So it's useless if in its best brand new form, right?
It was strong at one point, I remember.
I was in Mickey Dial's truck, and I was sitting in there, and it was loud. I mean, it was loud, and I was like, "Damn, this thing's fucking brutal." And then all of a sudden, it sounded like he lost all but one subwoofer, and what had happened is the windshield had gone. And I like look up, and I see the windshield's broken and starting to move significantly, but it was still relatively intact. And it was like we lost 5 dBs off the top, like instantly. And so looking at that windshield on JP's truck, I just think that
I've heard it.
That is
so
a huge loss right out the gate.
It was broken and made of steel when I heard it, and it still built some pressure up, but it's loading, from what I can tell, very hard off the windshield. But I'll know more once I get it playing again, obviously.
I got a demo from it, and it was loud. It was pretty cool. I was like,
so like whenever he gave it the beans, it was loud. I was like, okay, that's loud, but it's not right. As long as we can get along, we'll see. We'll see.
You're so grumpy.
Jose's the man, dude. You definitely could get along. If you can't get along with Jose, you can't get along with anybody. Shit.
That's a fact, Jack. You mean Ivan? Yes, he did.
Yeah.
The issue with the 6.5 orders is they all blow the front subs up because they're garbage.
Yeah, I know Scott from Phi was trying to explain
maybe
that enclosure and how
maybe
it should work, but
that top left amp. If you're looking at the back of Price's truck, there's 9 amps. That top left one, like I would have to pull the amp down to get the speaker wires out. There's no other way to get to it.
That's
but maybe
part of owning a big demo build.
No, it's the part of building a shitty demo build.
Oh, jeez. Take it easy.
No,
that's pretty shitty.
But did you see the RCAs?
I saw the power signal
mass.
No, the RCAs are on that. So that's the same amp where the RCAs are pressing against the side of the truck. That's the same amp.
Yeah, I'm going to show you guys a picture real quick.
JP windshield, it really only cracked after he lost some bolts in the firewall crack. Got to go. He's going to go back and make that firewall strong. And then
I don't know how anybody could consider Raimundo's Walker's build a 6.5. I wouldn't. It's pretty much just a 6th, or it's a big ported box.
Well, because his front subs aren't inside the enclosure; they're inside the cabin. So all those builds that have the subs in the cabin.
What's your definition of?
I don't remember the build.
They are 6th orders. They're not 6.5. They are 6th.
What's your definition of performing phenomenally? Because my definition and your definition are probably going to be different.
I feel like those boxes that have the subs in front like that do work really well when it's all inside the ported chamber.
So a 6th order.
A 6th order. But I mean, usually the flat planes are always louder and everything else. But like take a build like Nathan's. And it's that design, but it's all inside.
Yeah, that's just a 6th order.
Yeah. Well, but it's still those 6.5s are still 6. That's not 6.5 is not a thing. It's
not a thing. It's just something that somebody named.
There's no loading wall in front of those.
Put your subs back in the enclosure. Stop it. You're being goofy.
Move that shit back. It looks cool. You know who made it really cool? You remember back?
I got you, bro. I'll show you. I'll show you. I got you, dude.
Show them the signal mass.
Bro, I got you.
It's a funny term that I stole from a something. Colt and I were joking around at the shop about wiring up, 36 1/0 wires and not having a distro or a fuse block big enough. And we talked about stripping back all the wires, like 6 inches and massing them all together and having wires stick out all over the place and just taping the shit out of it. And then Drew showed us this stuff. So it's the one where they're all split apart and they're all soldered together.
They're taped together.
Yeah. Yeesh. That.
The signal mass.
Signal
mass. And so when he was describing it, I said, "Oh, it's like a signal mass." Colt would love that. So yeah.
This is the amp I was talking about. Like to get to the speaker wires, I'd have to pull the amp down.
Yeah. Do you guys remember that dude's name that made the 6.5 orders really popular?
Ari.
It's Ari, right?
Ari. Yeah, he's
Ari,
overseas or something.
Ari Voruela, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna pull this build up real quick because this is the build that, like, I don't know, basically made that enclosure famous because his shit definitely got down. I'm sure
it probably would have
maybe
been damn near as good if without them there.
without it
I
that
don't
way.
even know what we're talking about, but if you just extracted those ones from it, blocked those off, or fit them inside somehow, it probably would have all been just as well or better.
If I show you a video, you will know exactly who I'm talking about.
6th order versus 4th order. That's a personal thing. I prefer 4th orders. I like the sound, the control, easeability of tuning. The loudest vehicles on the planet are 4th orders for a reason.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm going to share this real quick.
It's subjective. Not really. If you have 818s only doing like a low 60, that's not really subjective. That's trash. Yep. Yeah, we've all seen that. Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Mantra or some shit.
Can you guys hear the video?
Yep.
Yeah. So, real quick, if
me and Bobby are going to say the same thing, I can almost guarantee
it. If you stick anybody's fucking face right in front of a fucking port on a double 15 box, they're going to do the same thing.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, like, this is the build that put that enclosure design on the map. Like, this guy's has had this build for years and years. I mean, when I first saw his demos, it was like 2016, 17, this build. You know, and then since then, everybody's somewhat tried to copy it or whatever. But back then, I mean, if you didn't see lows quite like this when he was posting his first videos, which made it go crazy. But you remember?
Well, there were a lot of vehicles, 10 years ago that had a port loading right into somebody's head like that. Either,
right?
And John has That's another thing that I've noticed a lot of the foreign cars that are super loud. The wall is like 6 inches in front of the B pillar. Like there's no space left in the car.
I couldn't really tell there as far as B pillar goes, but yeah, but
sometimes they're right at the B pillar, and that still leaves zero fucking space in the car.
Especially these little bitty foreign cars.
Many of the vehicle builds that actually all of the fucking B pillar walls that I've done, I actually seal it off at the B pillar, but it wraps back so that the seat can be in a comfortable position, and a reasonable size adult that's usually 4 to 8 inches taller than me can sit in comfortably. Mike Del Monte's car, Mike's a big ass dude. His B pillar seal off is like 13 inches at its biggest point from the B pillar, and he's sitting back, his B pillar's right next to him right here. And that was a shitload of work to do that, but I wanted him to be able to comfortably drive his car. I did that in the Bloodbath. I did it in that Fusion that I did years ago, where I was able to, put the seat. You're a big dude. Sit your seat where it goes. Okay, I'm going to leave it right fucking there, and I'm going to build your wall around that shit. It looks cool that way too, and you fit and you can drive.
The Nitro's back like that a little bit because I was daily driving it. The rebuild, it is not going to be. It is going to be as far forward as humanly possible. Yes.
Hey, snob, fucking the head unit. The head unit's like right fucking there. You're all. You gotta like pull your head back to fucking see what the volume level is because it's so close to your face. But I mean that's cool though. I mean if it's a rig that's not being driven, then who fucking cares? It doesn't even need a seat. I don't fucking care.
So I'm right at the B pillar. Oh, I was just showing mine at the same time.
You're a dick.
Yeah, you got like 10 inches, bro. I got no inches.
I know you got no inches, bro.
That's Drew Jones.
This is the Nitro as it sits currently.
Yeah.
Yep. It's back a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It ain't bad.
A comfortable ride. Yeah, somehow.
I mean, it's still a small SUV.
Too comfortable.
Let's see if I have any other cool pictures. I don't think I do.
Yeah, once I put wood on there, it literally goes right to the edge of the B pillar.
That's perfect. That's how it should be.
I mean, it's not like you're driving the fucking thing.
When
I get the green monster back, I'm gonna cut that motherfucker through all the way and gain about a foot more of box and be able to actually have a large enough port for whatever the fuck I put in there.
Oh, the nitro has a lot of gains to go. I mean, it's for what it is. I mean, it's not bad. Hold on, let me flex a little bit. Let me flex a little bit. Present, share screen, window. Boom. There you go. Power times 4. So it's 508 watts to do a 50.
Nice. Hopefully I could do that in Explorer, but a 60. 500 watts.
There's the 60. To do a 60, it depends on the subs. With ZV5s, it's 6,400 watts. With U's, it's like 4,500 watts.
Damn, those U's are super efficient.
Dude, the U's are astounding.
They're great. So they're super close gap compared to most.
A U is
in that power range.
A U is only, I think, 0.7 dB down from a compact V2 or something. I mean, they're loud. They're loud. But
did I show you guys my battery bank that I pretty much finished?
I saw a picture of it earlier. I was checking it out that you had posted online somewhere, or shared in our group or something. I don't fucking know. I thought you should.
So,
that
originally when he sent me these plexi pieces on top, I was like a kid at Christmas, and I tore the backing off before he messaged me and said, "Don't tear the backing off. Paint them first.
Oops.
Paint one black, paint one red, then pull the backing off." So since I screwed that up, I just covered the bars with vinyl. Since I cut a million decals a day, I'm pretty good with vinyl, so I just wrapped the top of the bars with vinyl, and freaking turned out awesome.
So I could probably talk you through over the phone setting up and doing a resin pour on those, on the back of that, to get the results you want.
On which part? What do you mean?
On the back side of your acrylic panels there.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
We could get you set up with like some red metallic and black metallic or something.
There you go.
And you just pour it on the back at levels, and then it'll just be part of the.
I mean, that's the real simple way of describing it. But yeah, I can help you figure out the appropriate materials to make that just so. It'll
possibly.
I mean, it'll involve you spending, I don't know, $150 and
unacceptable.
4 or 5 hours.
Unacceptable.
Well, as long as this works, it'll probably be all right. I can spend $150 on other shit. I always.
Justin said to get at him when I'm as efficient as his Panda. I don't know how efficient his Panda was, but I assume very efficient because it's the Panda.
Fucking better be.
Yeah, it's also the beer-based mafia. Those guys, they have a lot of SPL dust.
The beer-based mafia, you know what? That's real impressive. Convenient. Me and the beer-based mafia we have had similar conversations recently with the same people. They just may not know it, but I know it.
Yeah, a lot of people out there probably don't even know who the beer-based mafia is. Do you know who they are, Bobby? Okay. Justin Morrison, Jason Booker.
I'd say the only name that I could immediately associate is Booker.
But anyways, they just the SPL team that's drinks a shit ton of beer and builds like super loud, like just SPL competition vehicles.
Yeah, they were absolutely dominating when I started competing.
They built the Cube. Basically, Mike, I think it's Blanchford. I think that's his last name. Did almost all the steel cage work on the Cube, as well as I think the baffle too. But yeah, they had a Panda that was like stupid. Did like a 60,
I mean, Pandas
watts.
are always stupid. That's cheating. It's like if you go up against beer-based mafia,
and the shield or something with the Panda, that's just right or something.
It's a small, tiny car with a square windshield, and it's like CRX. I mean, there's just something about the car.
Beer-based mafia is like Team 33. If you're going against Team 33, you're taking an L.
Yeah,
like a big one.
Class are just
like a big one. Like I still vividly remember Chris beating. He was in first place in stock 3K at USAC one year. He was 2.5 dB in front of second place, using a third of the available power he could use. Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Rude.
Well, I mean, I know when Chris took a little offense to the Trunk King thing, and then he just was like, "Oh, you're doing a 60 what? One? Here's a 67 out of the trunk."
For fun. I did it in a weekend, my guy.
I know, it's still silly, dude. Some people
Dude,
just have
speaking
it.
of Trunk King, did y'all see the post he made about me? Hold on a second.
I have not seen a whole lot from him in quite a while, to be honest.
Because he's been banned from every major organization for being a giant piece of shit.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll say it.
Cheating and stuff, or what?
Yes.
Was that the guy cheating?
Terry
he was
Brock.
cheating?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was cheating. I just thought they got some beef, like talking shit and stuff.
No, you don't get banned from every organization for talking shit, or else there's
Well,
be a
he
lot
caused
more
a lot
banned
of
people.
drama, but I didn't
So
realize
he made a post about me last week. It got taken, like, I don't know, he took it down or someone, it went down, it went away pretty quick, but someone sent it to me. I'm about to show you.
I don't like fucking cheaters, man. That's a lot.
So I had originally blocked him, like his last profile, because he called me racist. And I don't remember why, but it was dumb. I think we were talking, we were going back and forth about enclosures, and he's like, "You're just a fucking racist." I was like, "What?" Pardon?
Well, dude, like the people that are buying your box designs, I mean, I don't know, I might be wrong here, but they're not necessarily serious SPL competitors. They're people that want a box that's going to fit and do what they want it to do.
Yeah, I mean, and yes,
Guys
do
that are
people
SPL
take them
guys,
and
they're
go
doing
win
their
some
own shit.
stuff? Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's not the whole reason. They're not contacting you because they're trying to go win an SPL championship.
No.
You
Well,
know, guys
some
that
people do. Some people do. Some people say, "I need a design. I need to win my class next weekend." I'm like, "Buddy, what are you competing in?" And you're like, "Oh, DB drag, bruh."
Yeah. Here's the design. Now go ahead and test it 100 times and tell me.
Yeah,
what
you have
can
3 minutes. But yeah, so he made this post. Someone sent it to me. I was like, "Damn, would you look at that? Just look at it." I'm ass, bro.
Look at the guy talking about, like, you have to be careful where you travel to. I don't know many people that travel like
more than me.
as a motherfucker. I'm like,
I totally
Who
forgot
said
about this
that?
part. Yeah,
Where did who
like
said you gotta be
it's in this William
Oh,
Savlosky fucking guy's thing. He's like, he has to be careful where he travels. I'm like, I think it'd be okay kicking it in sack. That's for sure.
I 100% will. Oh, I'd bet $3 that I traveled more this year in the last 12 months than anybody else
in the car audio community, right?
Yeah. Dude, I've been all over the U.S.
You've been all over.
He said, and he says we all know NSPL does not favor Drew Jones. So
NSPL does, like,
they're not even
like
the closest NSPL competition to me is like 12 hours from my house.
I'll be right back, boys.
And his uneducated, non-achieving fan base, big oofies, bro. Oh wait, so I can finally. Jesus, hold on. So he says the only thing Drew's been successful at is drinking the sweat from JP's balls. That's funny. But hold on a second. I have something funnier.
Do you have a jar of JP's ball sweat right there?
You don't?
I mean, I got some of John Rabby's.
See? Same thing.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably mixed together anyway.
I mean, at this point. Come on, thing. Hurry up. There it is. All right. Screenshot. Paint. Zoom out.
What do you think? I bet the sweat on JP's balls is pretty healthy, though.
Right? It's got to be. I mean, dude, like,
out, he does the ice bath, then all that shit. Works out, he eats healthy. I don't. Yeah, I've never seen him drink. Like, I bet he has a beer here and there, but
he stopped whenever a while ago. So I sent him an invoice for spheroid coolant consumption via oral acceptance. And he paid it, of course. I was going to post this on that thread, but it was gone by the time I got it. I was like, damn it, that was going to be funny.
How did he know? How did they know? Fuck.
Didn't you design Duncan's van? Came up with the bottom chamber. like where to start, and then just the top was whatever what was left. That's kind of what
pretty much how I did mine.
I mean, that's kind of all you can do with stuff like that. Just you get the bottom figured out, and just whatever's left is whatever's left.
Pretty much. Yes, sir.
I mean, that's all I could do in the Raiden truck. Right? I mean,
hell yeah.
And I was like, this is what I'm doing. Da, 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 da. I sent you all the information. Drew, all he responded was like, that your sealed chamber is perfect. And I was like, okay. Like, does that mean that the other chamber is not? And he's
YOLO
like,
the rest,
that means
bro.
That's all you got. What the fuck? And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, man, that's all you got. Just do it.
The fuck you gonna do?
Yeah.
If people knew how many of the loud, like every loud build ever, period, was just built and tested. I've never once seen somebody with Win ISD or Horn Resp open at finals be like, hold on, I got to make a tweak to my enclosure.
I've never used any of those.
Started with a really good design in Horn Resp, and then just extrapolated the data from operating it and made slight changes to make it do it. And he's got a world championship with his Black Widow, and that thing is fucking nasty.
Who?
But Jose Ramos. But he started with it, but obviously testing gave him gains. So
always will. How loud's his truck?
I don't know the numbers, but I mean it's like a Cyclone thing that he built it for. So it's like loud, real loud at 20.
What?
I don't
what
know
organization is that? Drag?
It's a DB
Drag.
Yeah. But it's fucking loud.
But how
actually no,
he's commenting, so he'll answer at some point.
Yeah, he said he took it to finals and he took Cyclone without modifying the design. Which is
his design is a little different, Drew. It's like it's somewhat of a V, but the front two subs are not on the same plane. They have I think it has actually no, I could be wrong. I think it is all the same plane, but his front two subs are like right at the edge of the port, and there's like no roundovers, or if I remember right, but it's a little different than what you would see from a normal.
But how loud is it, Jose?
It's loud, man. I mean, there you go. It's a tapped horn. That's why it looks different. Yeah. See, those things kind of go.
Murder builds at JP's overrated. I mean, I guess. At least it's not underrated.
I'll tell you. I'll also give Jakar credit. Like his builds, they're all been pretty loud. The ones that I've heard, but the finishing work is just fucking next level, man. And I really
the Envoy is that
that's James's.
Well, yeah,
Bayless.
There's multiple Envoys in there.
I mean,
well, if you're talking about the one that's got the 3 subs in the front and then 2 in the
that's
board.
fish bowls.
Fishbowl, that's a car. That's like a little sedan.
Oh, I get confused.
Same type of design.
Gotcha.
Right.
I get confused.
But like a lot of people,
that's impressive for a stock cabin.
I think it's semi-stock. I think they did a lot of stuff that is done, but you can't really tell. But yeah, that finish work it takes so many hours. And I don't know how much people really appreciate it when they look at it, but I know from experience of just sanding Bondo and shit how much time that takes. It's that next level, and I hope the trend of our industry keeps going that way. We keep seeing better looking demo builds because it's definitely happening. I mean, every year the builds are getting better and better looking and louder. Like this loud isn't pretty bullshit. That's not true. Not at all.
I mean, loud's pretty if they go extreme cabin. I mean, there's only a couple
you
people.
You just have to take the time. You got to take a lot of time to make
extreme.
Well, loud for it not being an extreme cabin is, and it's a driver. That's
Duncan.
It's like you almost can't do that anymore because your car just breaks. Like with how loud the equipment or how good the equipment is now, power and subs, like. You can't build a big demo car and have it be stock in the cabin. Not if you want to go to like more than 2 shows.
No. But you can make it still drivable and be, aesthetically
100.
pleasing. Like even using your
100%.
reinforcements to the interior as an aesthetic upgrade. You know,
Yeah, like you did in the Raiden. I mean, the whole roof, all that stuff. I mean, it's obviously there for a purpose, but it looks amazing at the same time. Like you could do both, 100%.
Yeah, I mean you can. I mean, like I said, Duncan's truck, prime example. Whenever some people heard it with the steel roof, but it didn't gain anything with the steel roof.
Probably just helped keep the car together a little better. No.
Yeah, I mean
the energy
the
and
roof.
broke the dash more.
Yeah, it just goes from one thing to another.
If you,
Just like you were saying, Drew, if you don't,
one thing, you know,
you just extreme it from the start, like I'm doing, and not have to worry about it. If it's a trailer queen,
right?
And that's the point. Yeah,
you gotta drive that shit, bro.
I'm going to,
no.
but I have no seatbelts or anything. But I mean, fuck, if I get hit, then I'm not going to be the one that's getting hurt.
Yeah, you'll be A-okay.
Ray Pimley's Jeep was very beautiful and super fucking loud, and he would drive that motherfucker hella far.
The Nitro,
awesome.
How about
Nitro's
Greg
going
Corbin,
to be stock cab.
Yeah, Greg Corbin
modified.
Nasty. And very clean, nice, aesthetically solid looking build.
Every day he's been doing more and more to make it look better because he doesn't have subs to fuck around with. So you gotta have something to do.
Polishing all up, painting shit,
paint stuff,
shaping it nice.
Trying to have a daily 70 that show quality finish.
That's tough. I mean, but that's what Greg Corbin has pretty much, a daily 78. Pretty much. I mean, it does an 80, but dude, that thing, he drives it every fucking day. It's a daily driver. It has a seat in it, and he drives it everywhere.
Except for out of Las Vegas.
That's not true. I saw him drive it to Reno. Fucking Sky High Barbecue, 7 hours. Dude, that thing will do 70 miles an hour on a highway with 100,000 watts.
Please don't.
He does.
Please don't.
It's fucking
Please
great.
don't.
Dude, didn't you see the tools he likes to use? Dude has no fear.
But it's full extreme. Mine isn't, no lie. If you have a steel roof, it's full extreme. If there's anything steel in front of the V-pillar, it's full extreme. You might as well just go all the way at this point. It's considered extreme.
I feel like the orgs need to update their rules.
Nope, that's how it should be. That's how it is. That's how it should be.
No. I mean,
old school. I'm down for it.
But like I said, the equipment's so big and powerful now. You can't fucking have huge demo build stock car.
Well, then you won't be competing. I mean, you can be, but you'll be with like Carlos.
Yeah, but what's nice about Extreme is like you're the only Extreme guy in your whole town usually, so you can just.
Justin gets it.
Then he leaves.
Justin gets it. That's why the Nitro rebuild is taking a minute, because I'm waiting for the new rules to come out for USAC and mainly USAC, so I can know what we can do this winter for USAC next year, because it's gonna have to fall into mod class, obviously.
So is that's the org you're gonna go after next year's USAC?
USAC, Mecca, and Base Wars.
Okay. Yeah. I think Base Wars is going to be a lot bigger this year in Vegas than previous. Now
no, Base Wars is popping off, dude, for sure.
I know a lot of the guys that were signing up for Mecca are just going to do Base Wars now. So
so Ray said that I ask allowed steel and wood as long as the stock headliner fits. That's why I asked is going to be the year after USAC, because I'm going to make the roof basically 2 inches thick of just steel, because the headliner has like a gap like that big.
Awesome.
How far double rigid? I mean, I would rather not. I'll use Sundown, the Sundown version of it.
I've never really messed with any of that stuff. I always use the
got to, bro.
Ampere stuff. What's that?
Vibraflex. Vibraflex is okay if you don't live where it's hot.
Or if it gets
I live in Las Vegas,
because it'll be
like I've never had an issue.
Scattered in like John.
Have you ever touched it when it's really hot outside?
Well, see, I think it comes a lot down
when you're installing it, and you get it so hot that'll like burn your fingers. You got to wear like gloves. That's the best way to get it to stick, because the shit will delaminate terribly. But if it's freezing ass cold, and it'll like shatter like roof tiles. It's like
that's how the Sundown deadener is. Like, so you talk about delaminating. That when you put the sundown deadener on, it turns into a Play-Doh, basically like a putty. You have to wear welding gloves because you're putting it on with a torch. You have to torch it on like matte gas.
Yeah.
And then you roll it on, and it's aggressive.
See, when I did Vibraflex, I did what it said on the box, and actually after talking to Andrew was to put in the oven at your lowest setting, 180 degrees. So I put it in the oven, and after 10 minutes, I mean, like you said, it was like Play-Doh, and I had to wear gloves. But I was able to push it into all the spots, and it made a really good bond. I never had any issues with it falling down or any of that shit. But like you said, Bobby, to get it off, dude, we used dry ice and just froze it, and it chipped it off. That was like the only way to get it off. It was
Justin, send me a message, send me your address. I'll send you like a half sheet of it, and you can see what I'm talking about with the sundown stuff, dude. It's wild how strong it is.
So you like the sundown stuff better than the Alfred stuff, or is that about the same type of stuff?
I feel like it's better because there's the Alfred stuff still has like a type of like a not really metal coating, but it still has a backing, and like you don't really, from what I've seen, you don't turn it into a paste. Like you literally turn the sundown stuff into a paste. Like it is ridiculous.
How about the Sky High stuff, Bobby? Have you messed with the Sky High stuff? Because it looks similar to the Alfred stuff. It's the diamond pattern.
It's pretty soft. It's more like a classic sound deadening material, like a tar stuff. It's not hard. Okay. So it wouldn't reinforce something. It would help things be deadened, but not reinforced.
That's right.
Dude, the sundown
4.5 dBs is a fucking game.
We did a
if
single.
If I gained 0.5 dBs, I'd be like, that's awesome.
No, bro, the sundown stuff is wild. We did 2 layers on the back wall of Tyler's blow-through truck. No steel bracing yet. We did just 2 layers of the sundown stuff along the entire back wall. Back wall did not move. 0 flex from 415s on like 20K. Back wall did not move. Period.
Gotcha.
Well, that's cool because I need to do something to the roof of my F-150.
Yeah, Justin, get some of that sundown stuff. It's good. Watch Sean on YouTube, Sean Mayo's video on how to put it on, and that's how you put it on.
Because I need to do something in my F-150 with the 9.6.5 under the back seat right now, and the fucking roof is like making a fucking racket, and I'm like, damn, I don't want to do a wood laminate roof in a truck with a bunch of 6.5. So I think the solution would probably be the sundown shit.
The sundown stuff, like I said, I can send you a piece, or you can go ahead and just order some.
Oh, I just get it from.
Can you do the oven technique, or do you have to torch it?
I mean, you can start with the oven, but you have to torch it on. It has to turn into a putty.
When my buddy Ed at King's Cabinets was doing his Dodge Challenger with a shitload of Vibraflex, it's a cabinet shop. He built like a cabinet, like oven thing, and he had one of those like heaters blowing in this fucking cabinet, and they were all on racks, and they'd be like ready to go, and he'd slide them right out, and it was like they were like fucking noodles. They were like sagging. They were so hot. And it was like, oh, it's a little too hot. I'll turn it down. And he moved the heater away from it a little bit, and then it was like, and you could mush it thinner where it needed to be, so his sunroof would clear it correctly, and get in there and scrape it and shit with like a razor blade and peel a layer out of it to make it the right thickness where he was doing it. It was pretty.
I think most people that had issues with that stuff was not applying it correctly, not doing that. I can tell you how many conversations I had with Andrew, like about the oven being like the biggest part of install with Vibraflex. If it's not like just using a torch, getting it hot in those certain spots, that doesn't do it for the Vibraflex shit. You want it completely heated, fully malleable, and like you should just have sheets in the oven while you're applying another sheet. So every time you grab one, it's there.
So this is Sean Mayo.
Can't hear.
Look at that, it just broke in his hand.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's sundown.
Oh, okay. Do you get any volume? Is the volume muted?
Can you hear it?
No.
No, you don't really need to hear it.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot.
Well, then if y'all can't hear it, then I don't gotta listen to it either. Boy got a hella accent. So he's still torching.
Is that what he's okay? He's burning. What is he burning right now?
That's the deadener.
Okay. Is it in the spot he wants it, or he's just getting hot?
So that's so he's talking about how he had that and he's now it's basically not, it's trash. That's why he's going over everything with the sundown stuff. Yeah, he's still torching. All right, there you go. A putty.
Wow.
Yes.
I wonder if that's similar to like the Second Skin, their liquid stuff.
Holy shit, he's turning it into a fucking
I was not exaggerating at all. Yep.
Okay.
Dude, that stuff is...
Damn, doing the roof in my truck's gonna suck, motherfucker.
Well, you only need like one layer or like two.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll be like, fuck this shit, and I'll put, 1/2-inch ply and call it good.
So what we do is
whole ass roof.
When we go to apply it on like a door or something, we'll set up a misting fan on the outside of the door to blow misted, like cool air onto the door so it doesn't melt the paint.
Yeah, bubble the fucking paint. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Okay.
Dude,
so it looks like this stuff's mainly just for like spots you really need to reinforce it. I couldn't imagine having to do that to your door panels.
Well, like the plastic door panel? No, you don't do that. No. This is for like
just that door panel that was showing there with all the holes in it and stuff. Like, just use regular deadener on that stuff.
Oh, so there is no
for the roof.
So I can't remember if there's a backing at all or not. I think there might be an actual backing, but as soon as you start heating it, it doesn't matter. It all just turns to goop. But the backing comes off if there is a backing. That top layer that you were looking at in the video, that's like a green color. That's just the material.
Well, Drew, you know.
That's what I was just talking about. I said I can't remember if there's an actual backing or not. And I don't feel like walking in the shop to get some. But if there is like a paper backing, then you pull it off. You kind of slap it. You just kind of put it wherever it is. And then you start torching.
See, that's like what Justin said. Let me find it. He said with the Alfred stuff. There it is.
No, the Alfred has like
still
a metal.
White, you're doing it wrong. So like, if
that's the metal. They have the actual metal backing. The sundown stuff, it does not have that. It is just the material once you're torching it.
But what I'm saying is like, I'm guessing you have to torch that stuff too, because he's saying if it's metal and white, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, so you heat it till it starts burning, the Alfred stuff, but it doesn't do what the sundown
stuff does. It just doesn't burn through like that stuff does. That makes sense.
Yeah. But whenever y'all start going to deaden things, if you want some, I've picked up a couple of deadening secrets. DM me.
I'm not deadening anything in my build. It's completely.
You should. Your doors.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Your doors would benefit.
My doors have 16-pound foam in them.
All that work, you could have done some heavier stuff.
Dude, you could take a sledgehammer to my doors. You can't even dent those motherfuckers. It's steel laminated with 16-pound foam. I need no deadener.
Kevin Smoot knows what's up.
I think my front quarter panels might need to be deadened. I think all my energy is going to go to those front quarter panels.
Perfect. Like whenever we deaden the doors for the nitro, it's going to be just a disaster. Not looking forward to it because I've been deadening stuff wrong the entire time. My entire life, I've been deadening doors wrong.
Oh shit! 16-pound foam is lighter than concrete. Yes, it is. 100%.
I'm trying to add mass, baby. I want the weight.
I'm good. I
want the weight, especially for that passenger door. Need the weight. Need the fill. Now I've started conversating on the phone a lot over the last year with a particular SPL guy, and he's taught me a lot of stuff about deadening and testing, and it's been the last year has been very educational.
Yeah, you've done a lot of educating in the last year.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that shit's awesome.
That's true. So the education, like the training, all that stuff is recently with the Max, for example. Like I already want to come back and redo the rating truck because I've learned a lot since then already. we did a 3-hour jam session one night. Me, Jeffrey Hall, and then Matt Mergenthal from JL had a 3-way video call, and they remoted into my laptop, and we tuned my truck like 3 or 4 times remotely. And I was learning stuff the entire time. And that was like last week.
You could start with my Explorer. You want to pour to the floor?
No balls.
No
balls.
We could do an experiment. Experiment.
No, John. Yeah, I know you're saying that it's strong, but like for the nitro, I want weight, and I want mass in particular locations. That's still within modified limits.
I'd say the majority of my door is still steel, and then it's just all the stuff that wasn't filled with steel is.
Bobby, how are you diffusing LED strips?
With this jizz.
Fuck.
Just jizzing all over it.
Why do you ask? What made you ask that?
Because I want to I think I want to do LED strips in the wall, and I don't want them just sitting there.
So what I've done in the past is I'll take like a piece of acrylic and I'll machine like a little piece that fits into a 90-degree corner and puts a little 45 in it. And I could put LEDs in that piece. And then sometimes I'll take like a piece of black acrylic or a strip of aluminum and stick that to that. And then
because right now I have there's the last owner did like a rope light in like the bottom corner of the like around the baffle, and it lit the wall up. But I want to do the RGB LEDs, and yeah, buddy,
that's been challenging as fuck.
Can you do my pillars like that?
So those little lights, those are the cob lights you're talking about, right?
Yeah. No, there's a strip. There's 15 and a half feet of LED strip in that.
There should be a picture where you can see the cob LEDs in the background.
So because it makes it look like there's a tiny little light in each little thing.
No, that's because it's 3-dimensionally engraved right there.
So yeah, those are like diamond.
Hold on, I gotta fix my
on the backside.
You're good. You're good.
Charge power here, but yeah.
Hang on, let me go back real quick. So Bobby, on this part, so is it just because the way that you have this cut underneath that it gives it that like diamond?
I think so.
Like almost like when you princess cut it.
That's 3/4 of an inch deep right there. Because it's machined through the 1/8 inch aluminum and then through the 1/4 inch thick resin and then into the acrylic.
God, those things turned out so freaking. I mean, I know I saw them a couple weeks ago in person, like in pieces, but I had no idea
you didn't. Those weren't even the pieces.
I mean, I saw the part before you had no aluminum, and it was just like you had just poured the blue. So, I mean,
that's the LEDs right there. How there's like one long strip of LED.
Yeah, there's like an LED every like 2 millimeters.
Okay.
Yeah. Where'd you get those like just off Amazon or?
Yeah, we've been ordering them off of Amazon. That seems to be our best source for that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then as the new technology comes out, I mean, it's crazy. Every 6 or 8 weeks, there's like, oh, now they have them in fucking RGB. You're like, oh shit, that's cool. And then they go, oh, there's
I saw the RGB
volt, the 24 volt ones, and you're like, oh, and so we use those on like signage that we have a couple signage projects and stuff like that here or there. But like I built an acrylic and resin sign. Let me send it to you guys.
I have some of these on the way right now. It's not cob, but it's incredibly high density LED.
Yeah.
144 LED per meter, 12 volt. So you have to, it's such high density energy draw. You have to inject 12 volt power every meter, every 3 feet, basically.
Nice.
That looks very.
That's probably bright as fuck then.
And they're fully addressable. So like they do the chase stuff. I have some of these coming to test. I think I want to do like I I want to do the entire bottle, like a ring around the wall, the baffle with these.
Have you guys messed with any of the controllers that follow the music? I bought one for the Explorer to put on the cans, but I'm not sure how well they're going to work.
I've learned a lot about LEDs in the last month, unwillingly. But you got to see what kind of RGB LED controller you have, because there's different types of RGB LEDs, like a lot of different types, and I didn't know that. Like if you just
I haven't been like so super duper like impressed and to where having the colors changing and chasing and doing all of that was something that I wanted, and I haven't had any customers go, I wanted to have the chasing and all. I haven't got, so what I'm usually working with is what's most reliable, and then more often than not, I go, are you going to change its color at all? And most guys are like, well, most of the time it's going to be blue, or it's going to be red, or I'm going to want white. And then I go, if that's what you're mostly going to do, then we should just pick that color, because that's going to be more reliable, and it's going to be brighter in that one color than it would be with an RGB set to that color.
That chasing that you guys are talking about, is that just
like this?
You're talking about like when the light like just runs around and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's right there.
Damn it, I can't turn the light off. Yeah, it can run around. It can do like different patterns and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So this is one that Barnaby made. I have a big version of this on my wall. It's like 2 feet wide, and it uses a WS2812 LEDs. It's a 12-volt fancy stuff. Anyway, you'll be able to see a truck that has nothing but chase LEDs at SEMA. TJ's Tahoe or Suburban. Yeah. It is 100% chase. I've been following it for a while. Speaking of SEMA,
that's fucking badass. I just haven't got into that part of it.
When do patches show up?
I don't power a 24 volt with a 12 volt system. I use for in a house or in a building application, I use the 24 volt ones because they're way fucking brighter than the 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can use it.
As far as SEMA goes, Drew, I'm still in the same boat as you guys. So obviously, as soon as I know, the group gets relayed. But I did email them today about passes again. I don't know. As far as I know, you saw the email the other day that we're still 100% a go. So even if it comes to the day of roll-in, we're going to show up fucking 10, 12 cars deep.
Yeah.
And whatever. Just, I don't fucking care. I can only ask them so many times until they're like, fuck off, which they haven't told me to fuck off yet. So,
that's good.
I'll give them a few more days to reply. So I definitely want to get the passes.
That's one brand. I looked at them the other night. So these are BTF. I'd have to BTF lighting maybe. They're the ones who sell like the most common version of these LEDs and different. BTF lighting. I'll drop a link real quick into the chat. Now I was just asking because I was gonna.
Bobby, that sign.
Is
that something you made?
I was gonna hit up Kicker and be like, "Hey,
yeah, I made that. It's 4 foot in diameter, acrylic with polyester resin and metal flake, and then it has. We replaced a 12 volt LED that like barely made it light up with a 24 volt, and that's in bright like sunlight right there essentially. And it's lit.
That's a big ass piece. You can see it's in front of your car. Was that like 3 foot circle or something?
It's big. 4 foot in diameter.
4 foot. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Where I did at?
That's on the wall at the Jiu-Jitsu Academy where I train.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I'm about to share a picture. You can tell me if this is what you've been using, Bobby. Because I might order some up and give it a go.
Yes. Yep.
It's on sale right now, so I was like, I might order some.
So it's just single color, huh? You can't.
No, this is RGB. This is full full color chase, everything. I think. Okay. Or it might not be chase, but it's no. This is regular RGB, I think. But yeah, it's basically one giant LED is what it looks like.
Sweet.
Yeah, like I said, I've been learning more about LEDs than I thought I would, but I want to have my stuff looking good. I got to make the rest of the truck look good for how good the pillars and doors are going to look.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just barely get the Explorer ready, I think, for the showdown playing, and then that'll give me another year to get it pretty. And there's so many things I've got in my head to try to make the fucker pretty. But so yeah, but I know Bobby's got a seat idea in his head, and maybe make that come to life. And got some ideas for the baffle, some plexi, some LED shit.
So I want to put so many LEDs in your Explorer that when you turn the LEDs on, you have voltage drop.
I've got a 20K bank just for my.
I want so many LEDs.
There's so many LEDs in the fucking Raiden that when it's a little bit low, like when I've been beating on it and the alts are all heat soaked, and I'm like, fuck.
You turn the LEDs off,
I turn the lights off, and it goes click. It comes up one notch on the SMD meter, and I'm all,
yeah, that's a lot of lights.
Damn it. So,
but yeah, I figured I'd wait till after SEMA and then send Bobby the speakers that he needs. And
yeah, I can do.
Who knows? I mean, I may.
Shit, it's wild right now.
I may have to move up to Sacktown for like a month. Bring the Explorer,
or just move to Sac.
Help you figure out some sub
sourcing
and some USA sub building, and then we'll build the Explorer and I'll build your subs. Perfect. You make it pretty.
That might be a thing.
Well, fellas,
yes, I have to go back to my motherfucking shop. So
yeah, I'm gonna go outside and work on I'm gonna answer all these messages. Then I'm gonna go work on the Tahoe a little bit because it's gonna be not hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get to welding. So all right, boys. Next week, possibly.
For those who are here about how to build a loud demo vehicle or a good demo vehicle, this is how you stay up until you finish whatever you're doing at 8 or 10 o'clock, and then you go work some more.
Yeah, work on the shit that you've.
Then you go do more work.
Thought about. It's like I did that. I could do that differently. Let's start over.
Well, let's cut it all out and do it over again.
Yeah, that's my fucking problem.
Next week, we're I don't know if we're gonna throw them away. They're leaning up in my fucking shop in the way, and we got to work around them. Like I was talking about earlier. All the shit that they had cut by send, but they looked like shit. So I hated them. And I was like, I want to do this. And so I did them over. And then I started those acrylic pieces. And then I decided that the way I was doing it, I didn't like it. And so I started over again.
So wait, so when I was there, you had those pieces poured and you were talking about, this is the way I think I should do it. Did you start over?
Yeah.
And redo it all? So because you were saying you weren't going to do that, but you ended up doing it anyway.
I did it anyway. I think
so that's why the stuff's still on your CNC.
Four more pieces of why I should have done it the better way, to the point where I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna
start all over. Damn, dude, that's crazy because you had like all the pieces done, dude. They were like almost
and then in the process of doing it the new way, I learned something. And I mean, I know I have a lot of composites knowledge and working with especially polyester resins and catalysts and mixtures and pigments and mica powders and metal flakes and all this shit. And I made a fucking error and caused a big problem. So I had to like wait an extended amount of time for cure. And then I had to do like secondary machining and then a extra resin pour to get it all to work correctly. And
later, John,
it's been a motherfucker. So
yeah.
Only two options. What would you choose? 212, 215, or 15? 212s if you're going for music. More coil. More cone area.
And one more thing I want to say is next week we probably are going to continue with the subject, but we may have a guest that has a big demo monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they could kind of go over their trials and tribulations of owning a beast that goes around the country and makes people smile. So
let's just get Duncan on. Let's get Duncan on there.
I mean, there's plenty of guys to have, but hopefully Steve's available in the next coming weeks. That'd be great.
I'll make him available.
Yeah, because I'd say over the last couple of years, I don't know if anybody's traveled with a big demo build as much as Steve has.
Yeah.
So, I've traveled with his build. What's up?
Fucking two of them. Yeah.
Dude,
for real.
Two of them is too much.
Two of them is
all right, boys. Well, have a nice night.
Right, fellas.
And we'll catch everybody later.
Later, guys.
Have a good night.